Muy buenas noches, mi gente de YouTube. Bienvenido a una historia que hay en Fortnite, ¿verdad? Vamos a ver lo que hay y de qué se trata, ¿ok? Y si les gustó, déjame un comentario, mi gente. Vamos allá.
In a horror
Escuchemos.
story, the victim keeps asking why, but there can be no explanation, and there shouldn't be one. The unanswered mystery is what stays with us the longest, and it's what we'll remember in the end. My name is Alan Wake.
Vale,
I'm
bueno.
a writer, and 13 years ago, I found myself in a horror story of my own making.
Vamos a darle ahí. Perfecto. Ahora estoy en
I
un
used to
cuarto.
live in New York
Escuchemos.
City with my wife Alice. I wrote crime novels starring a fictional detective named Alex Casey. They made me famous. But then I killed off Casey.
Obviamente estamos en una casa, ¿verdad? Aquí está la cocina, televisión, otro cuarto. Podemos esto que está aquí. Llevamos uno de esos, mi gente. Están las fotos del muchacho, los cuadros de él y eso. Vamos por aquí. Vamos a interactuar con esto. Ok. Vamos a seguir por acá. Ok, mi gente. Vamos a seguir por aquí. Vamos a estar por acá por la cocina. Vamos a interactuar aquí. Escuchemos.
What, now you can't even talk to me? I need to write something different. Something new, but nothing works. I
Parece
can't
que
take
está
it.
peleando con la esposa.
Alan, we've been working on this for over 2 years. You need a break. I heard about this peaceful little town. It'll be the perfect place to clear your head.
So Alice convinced me to visit Bright Falls, a small, quiet town in Washington. Just what I needed. First we stopped at the local diner to get our cabin key from the landlord.
Vamos en un segundito. Ok, mientras estamos de vuelta. Estamos en un sitio que no hay. Ahí está la carretera. Es un sitio desierto, ¿verdad? Vamos a tatuar aquí. Perfecto. Vamos a escuchar mientras. Vamos a escuchar. Estamos aquí. Escuchemos.
As soon as I stepped in the door, the waitress Rose recognized me. She was my biggest fan. Had all my
Esa es
books.
la mesera, me imagino.
After she made me promise
O
an
ella.
autograph, I asked about the landlord. Rose said he must have gone to the restroom.
Sí, esa es ella la que se enamoró. Ok, mi gente. Esto es un rayo antiguo. Estamos el café. Cogemos esto. Llevamos 2 de 6. Vamos a seguir por aquí. Obviamente. Ahí están los percos de antes. Un millón de nada más. Aquí. Escuchemos.
I checked the back of the diner. It was dark, foreboding. The kind of place that made your skin itch. That's when Barbara Jagger appeared. An older woman in a vintage funeral gown, like something out of a 1960s horror novel. She said the landlord hadn't been able to make it and handed me the cabin key. She insisted she'd come by later to check on us and to meet Alice.
Ok, mi gente. Vamos a seguir por aquí.
Alice and I drove through the majestic landscape to our cabin. The little wooden house stood alone on a tiny island near the shore of Cauldron Lake, in the bowl of an impressive caldera.
Bueno, mi gente, volverme en un 100, escuchemos.
Gorgeous, Alan.
It's something, all right.
Are you sure you read the directions right? It's nothing like in the brochure. It said near the lake, not on it.
It was a beautiful place.
Escuchemos.
I told myself I could rest here, sleep here, forget about my work. I thought we could be happy here.
Obviamente, vamos en un segundito. Ok, mi gente, estamos de vuelta. Vamos a usar el puente. Ok, por aquí no hay nada. Antes de entrar, vamos a ver qué hay por aquí. Vamos aquí. Cogemos esto. Tenemos 3 mi gente. Vamos a seguir por aquí. Entramos.
Alan,
Llaman a Allen.
I'm upstairs. I have a surprise for you.
Obviamente aquí hay como un reloj antiguo, un radio, una chimenea antigua, con unos platos y eso, unas mesas y eso, un teléfono antiguo. Vamos a subir por aquí. Escuchamos mente.
Surprise.
Alice, what is this?
I guess I have a small confession to make. I thought maybe you could write here that a change of
Damn it,
scenery would
Alice,
get
you-
you past.
Everyone keeps...
Hey, just hear me out. There's a local doctor, Dr. Hartman. I read a book of his. He has a private clinic here. He specializes
now
in
you
having
wanna get me
audit.
committed.
No, it's not like that. That's not... Alan? Alan?
Don't. Just don't. I don't want to hear it.
Parece que está peleando con la mujer. Ay, algo pasó, vente, vamos para allá. Escuchemos. Se tiró mi gente, hasta yo me tiro. Ok. Vamos a ver qué pasa, mi gente.
When I came to, I was behind the wheel of a crash car on a forest road. I felt like I had woken up from one nightmare only to find myself in another. I remember diving in after Alice. So how was I here?
Obviamente, parece que él chocó y se cayó en un barranco, mi gente, con el autobús. Me gustaría que Fortnite haga más historias como esta. En verdad, está bufiado. Obviamente, volvemos en un segundito. Obviamente, estamos de vuelta. Vamos a coger esta que está aquí. La nota.
The loose sheets of paper were pages from a manuscript entitled Departure. That was the name I'd planned to use for the next novel I'd never gotten started. I was named the author. I hadn't written it. I couldn't remember writing it.
Obviamente, ponemos la nota.
Departure by Alan Wake.
Perfecto, tenemos 1 de 8. Perfecto. Perfecto, otra nota más, mi gente.
The
Escuchemos.
taken stood before me. It was impossible to focus on it, as if it stood in a blind spot caused by a brain tumor and eye disease. I was terrified. I squeezed the flashlight like my life depended on it, willing it to stop coming any closer. Suddenly something gave, and the light seemed to shine brighter. I found a page of writing, but it
Tenemos
made no
2 de 8, mi
sense.
gente.
A fragment of some demented horror story.
Perfecto, una nota ahí. Un botecito. Perfecto. Vamos a seguir. Acá estamos.
I realized that the shadowy figure was the character from the page I just found. The Taken. A man taken over by a creature of supernatural darkness called the Dark Presence.
Ok, mi gente, vamos a seguir por aquí. Hasta que mejor acá ahí. Vamos así. Perfecto, una televisión ahí. Acá estamos.
Alright. I'll keep writing. Outside there's only darkness. Outside the cabin, outside the story, there's only darkness. I can feel her presence in the dark. Just now, I could smell her moving in the room. I'll reach her to fix it up. I'll bring her back. The story will come true. Why stop? She's lost.
I would come to realize the lake does something to works of art created here. It lifts the story from the page and gives it form. Turns fiction into
Vamos a seguir por aquí,
terrible
mi
truth.
gente.
The manuscript is becoming real.
Esto te está poniendo más interesante, mi gente. Más loca por aquí. Estás loca, mi gente. Traemos esto, mi gente. Llevamos 4. Perfecto. Otra roca mete en el medio. Perfecto. Otra pista, mente, tengo otra pista.
I tried to
Escuchemos.
hold on to Alice, but her form melted away. I was losing control. Dr. Hartman stood in her place. I wanted to hit him. My arms were jelly. He smiled. It was a reassuring smile, and I hated him for it. You're a patient in my clinic. Have been for a while now.
Ok. Llevamos 3, mi gente. Vamos a seguir por aquí rápidamente. Ahora estamos con la cama. Escuchemos.
There you go, Alan.
Heart? I fell. What? No, you. I found myself stuck in Calden Lake Lodge, Dr. Hartman's clinic. He tried to convince me I was a patient of his, that I imagined everything. I knew he was lying. Soon enough, his true colors would be revealed.
It's okay, Alan. Just let go.
The pages I'd been carrying with me were gone.
Ok, mi gente, tenemos
I
ahí.
needed them back. They were the key to
Okay.
finding Alice, to understanding this mystery.
Perfecto, vemos por aquí. Ok. Abrimos la puerta. Para que hay un papelito. Actuamos con él.
The dark presence
Escuchemos.
followed the choreography laid out to it in the manuscript, growing stronger and stronger, moving like a storm from one scene of destruction to the next. When the story reached the end it longed for, it would finally be free.
Obviamente tenemos 4. Vamos por aquí por la escalera. A ver si hay, aquí hay un vaso o algo. Que hay un vaso, mi gente. Llevamos 5. Perfecto. Vamos por aquí mismo. No hay nada. Escuchemos.
I broke into Hartman's office to learn the truth. The manuscript pages were on his desk, the ones I had found and more. I confronted him, furious. He admitted he had been lying and tried to cut a deal with me. He was still trying to manipulate me, to use my writing for his own ends and to make the Dark Presence stronger in doing so.
Vamos a seguir por aquí mismo. Perfecto. Vayamos aquí. Perfecto. Otra nota nuevamente.
I dreamt of the
Escuchemos.
night Alice went missing. Her screams rang in the stillness of the night. I saw myself run toward the cabin, flashlight in my hand. I followed my past self. I was an out-of-body observer, a time traveler in a crazy dream. This was the beginning. The night Alice had disappeared. The mystery of what had happened during the missing week was about to reveal itself.
Ok, mi gente. Vamos a seguir por aquí. Escuchemos. Tenemos a Ale, mi gente. Vamos a ver qué pasa con Ale.
In a dream, I found myself back at the cabin, just like the manuscript described. It felt like I was reliving a suppressed memory, a waking nightmare. This was my chance to find out what had happened to
A ver qué pasa
Alice.
con Ale, mi gente. Seguimos por aquí.
I
Ya
remembered
estamos.
it all now.
Escuchemos.
In the dark, I'd written for days, a week, almost a complete manuscript of a novel entitled Departure. Jagger had been my editor, whispering in my ear, making sure that the unfolding story would make her more and more powerful. I thought I was saving Alice. Yes. All right. I'll fix it. I'll bring her back. Under the influence of the Dark
Muy bien.
Presence,
Vamos a seguir para
I'd
acá.
written a horror story, and now my own words were tearing my world apart. It was using my story to grow stronger, to spread its darkness.
Perfecto.
But somehow some part of me had been aware enough to write my own escape into the story, a way back to Colton Lake, to Alice.
Vamos a el puente. Perfecto, brincamos aquí. Vamos acá, mi gente, rápidamente. Ahí también compramos los 6. Brincamos aquí. Perfecto. Vamos acá, mi gente. Vemos el barquecito. Ok. Perfecto. Perfecto. Estamos aquí, mi gente. Vengamos acá. Perfecto. Perfecto. Unos troncos ahí. Para cruzar. Perfecto, otra roca más. Y un puentecito, mi gente. Seguimos por aquí. Otro puentecito, mi gente. Otra roca más. Otra nota, meten otra nota. Lo cogemos.
The story I
Escuchemos.
had written in the cabin had come true. Touched by the dark presence, I had written a horror story, but the end was still missing. The story was incomplete, and the last unfinished page of the manuscript still sat in the typewriter in the cabin study. If I could get back there, if I could read the page, then I could write my own ending to this story and save Alice.
Realmente, rápido. Sigue por aquí.
Jagger was waiting for me, but I wasn't afraid. I had light on my side. I was ready. I fought Jagger with the light, shattered the darkness inside her. She was gone. But this was a horror story, and the ending had not yet been written.
Ya mató a mi gente.
There would be a price to pay.
La mató a mi gente. A ver qué pasa. Mire, ¿se acuerdan la muchacha que se tiró para el agua? Vamos a ver. Realmente se vivió tanto tiempo debajo del agua. Esta mujer tiene que tener un pulmón a otro nivel, mi gente, porque en verdad está allá abajo. Está brutal, mi gente, en verdad, está brutal. Pues nada, se comió con esta historia, en verdad me gustó esta historia. Tenemos a Allen, mi gente, Allen.
There's light and there's darkness, cause and effect. There's guilt and there's atonement. But the scales always need to balance. Everything has a price.
Vamos a ver qué pasa ahora. Te llaman a Allen, mi gente.
Alice was safe, but the balance had to be kept. I'd taken her place, a small price to pay. Now I was trapped here, in the dark place, outside reality.
Aquí por aquí. Escuchemos.
If I wanted to escape, I would have to start writing again. A new story, a sequel to Departure. My name is Alan Wake.
Allen,
I'm a writer.
ok.